Today we are talking about jihad attacks, but not with violence, not with bloodshed, but online with our senior editor of Arab Affairs, Octavia Neisser. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
And this ties into a blog that you have done this week that has gotten quite a big response online as well.
Really big response, I think, because we're talking about Al-Qaeda, we're talking about Bin Laden, and we're talking about them being hacked. It seems that for the last few months, something is going on online, which is very interesting. Online, not just online, but in the jihadi world. You know, we monitor so many sites on a regular basis, and on those sites, sometimes we have messages from Al-Qaeda, sometimes we have messages. This is where we find, for example, video messages from Bin Laden or number 2 man in Al-Qaeda, Zawahiri, or any others. This is also where we find claims of attacks, claims of responsibility for attacks anywhere from Iraq to Afghanistan to elsewhere in the world. So these sites have been having a hard time staying on lately, and we found that to be a very interesting phenomenon.
Well, how many blogs, how many websites are you actually monitoring? There are hundreds?
There are hundreds, obviously, yes, sometimes even more, because what you have, see, you have the main websites that we believe are linked directly to Al-Qaeda. This is where we see the first postings, for example, from Al-Qaeda. And on those websites, you know, you have all kinds of chatter, all kinds of blogs, all kinds of postings. We monitor those, and we monitor a handful of those, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5 sometimes. But out of those, branch out hundreds of what we call the secondary source Al-Qaeda. So they're not linked directly to Al-Qaeda, but they're linked to those sites that are linked to Al-Qaeda. Yeah. So literally, yes, hundreds of them, but what we monitor is just a handful of top, basically, Al-Qaeda
And in your blog
sites
that people can find out more about on our website right now, you mentioned one website in particular where if you were to click there yesterday, even today, we just checked it, Joker.com comes up.
Right, it's Al-Ikhlas. Al-Ikhlas.org is one of the leading, I would say, Al-Qaeda websites. It's been the source of information for quite some time, since 2004 at least. And basically, sometimes it's down, sometimes it's not down, but what's happened in the last few months, it's been out of reach completely. And when you click on it, it takes you, as you said, to Joker.com. Today, it's Joker.com. It could be somewhere else tomorrow. Now, how do we know that they're being hacked? When we go to the other websites, you know, we have like 4 or 5 main ones. And even if they're downed, they find a way to redirect you if you are a member. And members are people who can sign in, log in, and read. And some members are active, just like any other website, really. So basically, they get the word out on the alternative websites that this website can be found on this new address. And this is on those sites we find that you know, they're messaging saying, you know, the forces of evil, quote, the forces of evil have hacked into our website, so you can see us on this address, or the forces of evil have hacked into our website and it's been down, we're trying to get it back up. So very interesting how we get our information from them. They are obviously hurting. We can tell that they're hurting because their sites are not up.
And are there some that seem to be targeted more than others, or how is it that some just simply don't get impacted?
Exactly, and you know what? All of them get impacted at different times, but what we've seen is that some of these sites are so technically savvy that even if they're hacked, even if they're downed, they have a way to rebound pretty quickly. So they're definitely, they know what they're doing, and they've been online for so long, so they know how to navigate, they know how to stay functional. But what happened with Al-Ikhlas is very interesting because it seems that it's unable to get back. Another thing that's important about the hacking, you know, we've seen a very sharp decrease in the number of videos that have been coming from Al-Qaeda. You may remember around 9/11, every year since 9/11 2001, Al-Qaeda has released a tape around the anniversary of 9/11. This year, of course, everybody who watches Al-Qaeda was expecting a tape. We were waiting for that tape. Nothing came up. Also, Bin Laden sometimes speaks around 9/11, but he also speaks around the U.S. elections. We haven't heard anything from him yet. Well, it doesn't mean we're not going to hear anything. We might still hear something. But basically, yeah, there is a sharp decrease in the number of videos from Al-Qaeda. But are they still operational? Are they still, available online? They are. Another observation, for example, an expert I spoke with who was saying, well, maybe Al-Qaeda decided to, on its own, not release any videos because they feel that they're being monitored or they're being tracked down or something like that. That's also a plausible theory. There are so many theories that they're being hacked by this, that, the other, that they can't operate. No, they can't operate. It's their choice. So really, I mean, we don't want to draw conclusions here about what's happening, but we do know that there is a decrease in the number of videos from them.
Actually, quickly, just wrap up talking about what your blog is about today. It's the image of women in soap operas.
Yes, it's the image of Arab women in Arab soap operas. It's a very interesting topic. We have also an accompanying piece that's available online. But basically, it's all these Arab women that you know who are successful professionals and modern and educated and so forth. For some reason, when you watch soaps on Arab television, you're not going to see anything but the backward woman, the emotional woman, gossipy, conniving, submissive, being beaten, victim, and so forth. So we're trying to shed some light on an issue that is very important for women in the Arab world, women who are right now asking for basic rights, such as giving your children nationality.
Something tells me this write-up, this blog could actually get more traffic than the one you had yesterday. Amazing.
I hope so.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Senior editor of Arabic Affairs, Octavia Nasser, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.